Hi everyone, I thought I'd show you a rustic hillside stairway I made using concrete retaining wall blocks. I never found any video exactly like what I did, so I thought I would just share in case there's someone out there that would be interested. Enjoy! Okay, so here's my backyard. I guess you'd be thinking, geez, that's an unusual backyard. Where do you live? Well, not to give too much away, I'll just say that like Laura Ingalls, I live somewhere in the big woods of Wisconsin, and this is my little piece of those big woods. And I love it. But for the decade that I've lived here, I've never had an easy way to get to the ridge up above in the back, which I don't know if you can see. Um, anyway, so this project has been in the back of my mind for a really long time. Okay, I'm just going to pause the video for a sec because I wanted to tell you about the parameters I set out for myself before I began my project. Now first, I wanted the materials to be durable. After doing all this work, and it is a lot of work, I wanted the stairway to last a really long time. So the items had to be durable. Second was accessibility. I wanted to use materials that were locally available, so if and when I ran out of materials, I could just go to the store and pick some more up. Third is affordability. I mean, if money were no object, I wouldn't be doing this. I would be hiring someone else to build a staircase for me. But, money was definitely a factor, and I guess it might be for you too, or you wouldn't be looking at DIY stairways. You would just be hiring someone. So I was looking for affordable materials. Fourth thing was portability. I was making this entirely by myself, so I needed to find materials I could load up at the store, then unload at my van back at home, and haul by hand up and down the hillside. So I limited myself to about 40 pounds per stone. And then the last thing is simplicity. I wanted this project to be simple. No cutting or splitting of stones. Nothing that couldn't be done without basic hand tools. Materials. Okay, so after going through a lot of different ideas, what I ended up with was a concrete retaining wall cap that is sold at our local big box store. This one measures 3.5 inches thick, and its front side is about 18 inches, its back side is about 12 inches, and it's 13 inches deep or long. And I think this comes in 4 or 5 different colors. What I went with was called Sienna, and I believe it's a mix of charcoal, tan, and terracotta colors, which I don't know if you can see there. And then for the rest of the supplies that were used, I used standard multi-purpose gravel, which I think is also called 3/4 inch gravel because as you can see it's screened for nothing larger than 3/4 of an inch. And this would be standard for any kind of project like this, like putting in a patio or pavers. And then I also used leveling sand, you can see there. And then as far as tools, I used my Big Daddy shovel, my baby shovel, a little handsaw for cutting through roots, my putty knife for scraping mud off of things, a rubber mallet, a little level, and a tape measure. Although, to be honest, I didn't use it all that much. I pretty much eyeballed things as I went along. This is a really high-tech drawing. Might submit this to my quarterly alumni magazine. This is pretty spiffy. So what we have here are the supplies. Let me just show you real quick. In order for me to figure out the hill, I used a step ladder, a pretty large step ladder, a 4-foot level, a tape measure, a very long piece of rope, and a block of cheese. No, actually this is blocks or bricks, and then a couple kids because I always have them on hand, and then there's me. So what I did is, you can see, I took a kid and sent her up the hill with the rope, and she held it there at the ridge. Then I had the ladder, and on top of the ladder I had some blocks and the level and the tape measure. I got up on there, we pulled the rope taut, and then I put enough blocks to make the level and the rope all level together using this as a means to make sure we were holding it straight across. And then from that point, we dropped the tape measure down. Now this is probably pretty silly. I'm sure you could come up with a better way to do this, but I just wanted to use what I had on hand, and in the end I managed to get the measurements I needed, which in my case were 14.5 feet tall and 40 feet out. So I already showed you that my blocks that I got, the extra large retaining wall caps, were 3.5 inches tall or deep. That was going to be the height of my risers. I couldn't change that. That's a given. So I had to figure out how many steps that would be. So I took the 14.5 and I divided it by 14.5 feet, divided by 3.5 inches, and what I got was 50 steps. Then I took the 40 feet and divided that by 50 steps, and that is how I found out what the run or the tread would be. So you can see we're looking at steps that were roughly 3.5 inches tall by roughly 10 inches across. Now, when you're doing something like this, because we're working in a hillside and it's rather rustic, this measurement might change slightly an inch or two as we're going along, because my path really was ending up looking like this. As you can see, these are not all the same in order to make the serpentine pattern happen. So that's okay if you have a couple inches difference in your treads as you go up. You can handle that, but you cannot have your rise change from step to step. They have to be identical with each step. Otherwise, you'll end up with people tripping. Okay, so now that I showed you that, I'm just going to take a minute and just show you how I put in one of the steps as an example. Yay, the construction! It's the part you've been waiting for. Okay, this is the fun part. So first mark the location of where the step is going to be in order to dig out its foundation. And then you're going to dig about 7 inches below the surface. It's sort of like digging a little grave. I guess that might sound too morbid. Yeah, this is going to involve a lot of digging, but working outdoors is good for you, right? It's like fresh air and exercise and all that. Now during this process, you're going to end up with a lot of dirt you'll be displacing. So have a plan for where your dirt's going to go before you start. Otherwise, you'll be like me and you'll have big homeless dirt piles all around your backyard for years. And some digging, more digging. There I'm sawing through root there. Digging some more. Yeah, so do you realize right now we're all watching me dig a hole? It's sort of mesmerizing in a way, especially since I sped up the film to 4 times fast. It's kind of hypnotic. Yeah, I have to admit, this is, it's more fun than actually digging the hole. Just watching someone dig a hole. And there's a lot more disturbing videos out there you could be wasting your time with right now. Like medical procedures or something like that. Thankfully, the step I chose to film didn't give me too much trouble. As you can see, I didn't even measure this hole, but since I was working on the back side of the previous step, which I already told you are 3.5 inches thick, I could just gauge by sight when the hole was twice as deep as that. And my soil is very clay-like, and there's a number of rocks, so I set aside those rocks so I could use them later, and I'll show you that at the end. And here, you know, I'm just smoothing it out, and now I'm clearing off the previous step with removing the clay and the dirt before I begin the next phases, little construction project. So step 2, you're going to add 6 inches of gravel. Just go ahead and dump it right in there. For me, that worked out to about 1.5 bags per step. You're going to smooth it out, and then you're going to tamp it or stomp on it, as I did. And then step 3, you're going to add the leveling sand right on top of the gravel. And as you can guess, we're going to be smoothing that out. Now, for me, that typically worked out to about 1 bag of sand. So, yeah, so I'm stomping it, adding more sand. This is pretty much how it goes. You can keep doing this as necessary till you reach the level that you need it to be in order for placing this step. And yeah, it might take a little work to get the sand just how you need it. If the space were larger, you could screed it, but here I'm just using my hands in a little level, and at this point I'd done enough of these, so I had practice, so I was really just gauging the smoothness and the levelness by feel. And also my tamper was too large to fit in these spaces I was working here, so I was just using my feet. Okay, so now that the sand is set, we're going to clear off the debris from the previous step and check our work area before we lay the stone. And now we are in step 4, so we're going to lay our first concrete block. And if your block has markings or letters on it like mine does, please be sure to put your markings side down. Otherwise you'll be very disappointed later when it rains and you can see them. Okay, and so you want to ensure that your block is level from side to side and slightly pitched forward to keep the water from pooling on the surface of the step. You can also see here that I'm overlapping each row of steps on the previous step by at least an inch or more to provide some stability and durability as you're working along. And here I'm just preparing the sand on the other side to have it ready for the next stone. And that's step 5. We're going to lay the second concrete block in the same manner as we did the first. And I don't know if you can tell by the speed here, but before I place a second stone, I take a putty knife and I make a very tiny valley along the edge of the first stone, basically to keep gravel or sand from creeping between the two stones as I go to place them together. And you want to be sure these stones fit tight together and that they're even with each other. So level and even and pitched in the exact same manner. And that's it. Now just repeat, in my case, that's 49 more times and your stairway will be done. You can take a little look down the hill there. Well, we're pretty high up here. Actually, up at this level you can see the path that we're looking at. Oh, and our dilapidated gazebo. That's a project I'll share with you another time, maybe hopefully next summer. And now stick with me and I'll show you the finished project, okay? Well, now that the stairway is complete, I thought I'd just give you a little tour. In the end, it took 50 steps, so that equaled 100 retaining wall caps, 75 bags of gravel, and 50 bags of sand. So that was a total of about $1,200 in materials and about 9,000 pounds that I hauled up this hill all by myself. Not to mention all the dirt that I had to haul away. Oh, a quick note. On the top step, you'll want to use concrete adhesive to hold those down since there will be nothing on top of them to weigh them down. So I took the rocks that I dug out during the process and I added them to the edges where the hillside was steeper than the steps, like a retaining wall of sorts. Here you can see the alternating parallelogram pattern I was using for the steps. I knew the hillside would cover the edges of the steps pretty well, and during the spring and summer the plants on this hill are at least knee-high, so I felt the edges wouldn't look too sharp. Plus the serpentine pattern that I took also distracts from the uniformity of the retaining wall cap shape. In the spring, I'll come back and review how this held up through the winter and the spring thaw. I'm also planning to add a rope handrail to the one side for safety, and possibly building another stairway from the ridge up to the street behind our woods. So if I do, I'll be sure to post a video of that later. Well, that's my project. I know ideally it would be better to have 7-inch risers, but I had to work with what I had, and ultimately this is still safer than climbing up the muddy clay hill like we used to. Oh, and here's a good example of how the human eye can have difficulty determining space without boundaries. From the ground, the stairway didn't seem all that long, but as I stand at the top, it seems much further away than I assumed the ridge was. Optical illusion. Well, I hope someone out there finds this video useful. As I said, I did this all by myself, and if I could do it, then surely you could do it. Unless, of course, you're lazy, then I can't really help you. If you love my project or you hated my project, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And I guess that's it. Well, Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.